friends of the forum, dear ancient Athenians, dear guests, it's our honor tonight to host the trial of Aspasia, but first I would like to give the word to the man whom we have to thank for this trial and for many trial simulations that we have held in the previous years, our great age-old friend, Professor Виктор Кастелани from the University of Denver.
Howdy. I'm from Colorado, the University of Colorado. Now, originally from Brooklyn, New York, so the cowboy hat is something of a joke, but in Colorado it's practical. I am here to do two things, to enjoy and to admire. This series, this is the fifth of these trials of ancient persons, mythological or historical, are, I suppose, my godchildren. And I'm always delighted to see how much preparation, how much thought goes into what you are learning about Athenian procedure, which is in some ways pretty wild and woolly in comparison with the more orderly process that you'll be dealing with as lawyers. I do like to thank Nina and Una for their role in this. But to thank, in advance, to thank all of the performers. I know that you will be good. You will be good. And that's about as much as I need to say. You've learned a great deal, I'm sure, about 5th century Athens, something about Pericles, who is really the gorilla in the corner, whom those who attack Aspasia are attacking, and whom those who defend Aspasia are defending. And you'll hear some of that in the argument that I will allow to proceed by saying, Yippee-i-o-ki-yay, and I'll sit down and enjoy and admire.
Fellow Athens citizens, we are gathered here to decide the fate of Aspasia, who is charged with impiety. Fellow Athens, on my right side we have the prosecutors, Anytus, Aristophanes, and Xantippus. On my left side we have the defense, Thucydides, Delacles, Xenocrates. I will call Anytus to the stand.
My fellow Athenians, I'm here to, above all, protect what is the dearest in our polis, and that is our democracy. In the name of it today, I'm standing here to defend it like I did decades ago. There is no doubt, my honorable jurors, that Pericles is a wise and capable man, but every man is susceptible to corruption, as we know. We will agree on that. Human nature is really perishable and pliable. In some cases, when a man comes in possession of great power, he becomes greedy. Lately, Pericles has been acting more like an oligarch than a citizen equal to us all. And everything in his behavior began when he started associating himself with this foul woman right here, Aspasia. She could be a potential spy. After all, she is from Milet. What do we know about Miletians? Well, she must be influencing Pericles to reduce the tribute that Milet has to pay to Athens. Is that a thing an honorable woman would do? Is that even democratic, I ask you? Oh, honorable jurors. It's a shame. It's a shame to this polis. Place of women isn't politics. I think we can all agree. And that's exactly for you, Aspasia. You have no place in Athens politics. You're a foreigner and a woman. For that matter, her political ideas that she presents to Pericles, her loyalty to Milet as a different city, as a different polis, and as the most important thing, her disbelief in our gods, our holy gods, our real danger. That's the real danger and the reason why our democracy might fall through, might fall apart because of you. And you, Telicles, you're no different from them. Lies! Lies! Lies, you say. You're her brother. Therefore, you could also be a potential spy. We cannot know for sure that you're not. Do you have evidence? We shall see. Because you are here among Athenians, among other Athenians, with equal political rights and a right to vote. How is that possible? Who arranged your dual citizenship? So, I have to tell you that these vile people here, these people, should be removed. Not just from this place, but from Athens as well. Because they are an active threat, and until we remove them, we won't be able to live in prosperity like we did once. Oh gods, please show these just men here that came to be the judges of this case. Please show them how awful they are, really. Please help us rebuild our democracy without Pericles' oligarchic arrogance and influence from this woman here. It's a shame. It's a true shame. You can cry all you want, but we know the truth. We know the truth. And what you're doing here is manipulation like you did to poor Pericles. So I ask of you, please judge right today. I'm telling truth and truth only. Judge right and fairly. And don't let this awful woman deceive you like she did Pericles. She will lead Pericles, and for that matter, our whole polis, into destruction. Don't let her go unpunished. Thank you.
I will now call the second prosecutor, Aristophanes, to the stand.
Fellow men of Athens, we are here today to defend our polis and our democracy. This war here is threatening to destroy our city. So, what we will do about it? She will bring ruins upon us if she continues to do like this. So please, honorable jurors, judge well and let the gods help you. First, I have to say that this wretched woman here, she tries to destroy Pericles as one of the greatest emperors in Athens. She also has made her contribution on Pericles, on the returning of the dowry to my sister Stelfusa. She took away my sister's honor, despite the fact she was a lovely mother and a great wife. Pericles has forgot to care about his legitimate children because of her prosaic bastard she calls his son. What we will do about it? O Athenians, O gods, help us to find the justice, first for my sister, then for our culture and our polis. We know that she was a prostitute in her youth, so she also had a bordel. We can hear rumors about that. So what we will do about it? Her very own bordel, So, we can all agree that is not a great example to all women in Athens. So, once again, I will tell you to judge with your heart. And now I will call my witness, and Granitus, to take a stand here in witness in front of you and tell about her prostitute. Thank you.
Collect yourself. Do you swear, under the threat of dictates of the martyria, that you will tell the truth and nothing but the truth?
I swear.
Is the sword of goddess Dike for truth?
Citizens of Athens, I have come here to tell the truth about this wretched woman, who is not even a citizen of a polis, but a filthy newcomer from Milet, which you could have noticed as soon as she opened her mouth. I have been to many symposia, discussing philosophy and science with other honorable men. There, I saw Aspasia's shameless behavior firsthand. Dear Athenians, from everything that I saw, I cannot be sure if Pericles is truly the father of Aspasia's son. This shameless woman approached every single man at the symposia, and nevertheless offered herself to them, flirting with them. You all know that women are not allowed to attend symposia, except for dancers, musicians, and heteros, who are prostitutes. But that's not all. I also saw her in the company of sophists. We all know who sophists are. Impostors who sell their false wisdom and deceive the people. Even Socrates, the defense's witness, harshly criticized them. Now you know everything that I saw with my own eyes. Is that something an honorable woman would do? Judge fairly. Thank you.
Now I will call Xanthipus as the third speaker of prosecutors.
Just people of Athens, I, Xanthipus, son of the once great Pericles, stand before you, a man, the proud of everything, honor, heritage, a father, all because of this wretched woman who poisoned his mind and made him turn his back on his very own blood, his son, for whom I ask, a whore of a wife, a foreigner in a great city, and nothing more than a common leech bound to devastate the very cornerstone of our society. I also couldn't help but notice my brother here in the crowd, behind the defendants nevertheless. I'm sure he'll try to spin you a tale about how wonderful and caring our dear Aspasia is, and how I'm the evil one here. But I guarantee you that is not the truth, for he does not know what it is like to feel abandoned by your own father. Fellow citizens, not only does Aspasia of Milet is responsible for tarnishing my family's name, she is also the sole reason my father betrayed something far greater to us Athenians, our gods. She and her little group of thinkers from her homeland have managed to manipulate our beloved leader into becoming a skeptic. These men claim there is no such thing as a moral or even religious truth, that it is all an unstable construct of society. Very well then, let us say that is true. What kind of society would Athens be then? One in which a common whore with her own brothel filled with young girls who serve the same elite you see here gets to spit on our gods and walk free? No! Athens is far greater than Aspasia could ever imagine. Today, honorable citizens, we will see justice served, for we all know this woman is a threat to our city and will bring ruin upon us otherwise. And yet her impiety does not end at that, for there are multiple witnesses who overheard her, boasting about being the embodiment of our great Aphrodite herself. Blasphemous! Now, I will call my witness Cytherean to clear any doubts in your minds, if you have any left, of course. Thank you.
Do you swear under the threat of Diceps of the Martyria that you will tell the truth and nothing but the truth?
I swear.
Kiss the sword of goddess Dike in order to tell the truth.
Fellow Athenians, honorable jurors, just the other day as I was going back to the temple, I saw Pericles' mistress talking to a group of women. And what I've heard shook me to my core and left me speechless. She, a foreigner of dubious origins and even more suspicious character, claimed that she should be worshipped as the third face of Aphrodite, or no, even maybe the real one. She might have seduced half of this city, but she can't fool me, so I immediately reported her to the authorities. Now, I won't be making any claims about jobs this woman partakes in, but honorable jurors, I implore you to punish her accordingly, or we will all suffer the wrath of gods.
Now that you hear the prosecutors, the defense will speak. I will call Xenocrates from the defense to come to the stand.
Oh, my dear citizens of Athens, I come here today as a third-generation proxenos of the city of Miletus to defend one of our true allies, my dear Aspasia. It is truly saddening to hear these horrible accusations made to our loyal friends, the Milesians. The prosecutors dare to accuse them of sending spies to gather intel on our beloved Athens. The people of Miletus were there with us and stuck by us when things were going downhill. They did not only do that, but they defended our honor. Not once, I repeat, not once did they raise their armies against us. Not even when other allies attempted to rebel against Athens, like Samos and Mytilene, for example. There were countless times where they could have betrayed our trust and used valuable information against us for their own benefit, but they stood their ground and remained a loyal city. Now may I ask, on what grounds do you claim that they spied on us?
I said potential. I didn't say they are.
Silence!
There is no use of them spying on us, and it is highly offensive, unwise, and dangerous to accuse them of such a heinous crime without even a shred of reasonable evidence. Do you want Athens to lose such a valuable friend and ally? Do you wish to start a war? I have reached out to my connections in Miletus, and they've agreed to show us kindness despite these horrid lies that you spread about them. This does not only show the value of their people, but how honorably they raise their men and women, of course. And I, as Proxenus, will do everything in my power to make sure it stays that way, because at the end of the day, they're the only city that we have not had bad blood with. It is really hard on me and extremely uncomfortable to listen to pure slander of one of my dear friends, Aspasia. She is so much more than a part of Hercules' shadow, and what you are falsely accusing her of, shameful. Why are we disregarding the fact that she is one influential woman? She is a writer, a sponsor of many Athenian artists and scientists. And most importantly for you and all the other people of Athens, she is your taxpayer. And let us not forget, she is also a mother. She made a mistake of having a child out of wedlock, but the law strictly forbids her, as a medic, from marrying Hercules. For the last 15 years I've been a proxenos. My judgment has been and will always remain to be correct. My family and I have proven our loyalty to Athens and its political interests. And I can assure you, as well as my grandfather and father, that Aspasia is one exemplary citizen. Miletus is proud to call her their own, and Athens should be glad to have her. You can take my word for it.
I will call the second speaker of defense, Thucydides, to the stand.
Honorable jurors, my fellow citizens of the great polis that is Athens, I implore you not to listen to the lies the prosecutors are spewing. We all know Pericles and how much he has done for our city. He ordered the building of the Parthenon, home to our great goddess Athena, who watches over us all, and I can only pray that she and all of the other great gods of the mountain Olympus see the prosecutor's words for what they are. Lies! Pericles is being made out to be an enemy of the democracy, when he has been the fiercest defender of it. He has always strived for fairness in our society, as we all know. He has also always defended our great nation. He has defended it from Persia, Sparta, and every other enemy that dares step 1 foot out of line to try and weaken us. He has built morale in our army through financial compensation, as well as patriotism and love for the great gods. He also arranged for you, honorable jurors, to be compensated for your time here. So, need I say more about him? Now, as for this here woman that you call a whore, an atheist, a goddess impersonator, and gods know what else, you should all be ashamed of yourselves. For you that are calling her a whore are the ones enjoying those whores the most. Aspasia here is no ordinary woman, only good for her wifely and motherly duties, but she is no witch that you're making her out to be. Only a simple woman blessed by the great gods that we all hold dear. Fellow Athenians, we all know what a statesman Pericles is. I've spoken of his achievements at length today and will continue to do so until my last breath. For he is the most capable and accomplished leader we have ever had. Now, Aspasia has, in her own words, counseled Pericles, I will admit to that, but it was only to provide the little missing bits in his almost spotless understanding and good judgment. Now, she has never acted as a spy or some foreign enemy, as we have heard in my fellow defender's speech. To that, I will only add that she has only ever acted in the interest of you, dear Athenians, and our great nation. Now, I would like to call on my witness, the great philosopher Socrates, who will help the jury see the truth for the plain thing that it is. Aspasia is not guilty of any of the charges being made against her.
Do you swear under the threat of dictum pseudomartyria that you will tell the truth and nothing but the truth?
I swear.
Kiss the sword of goddess Dike in order to tell the truth.
Dear citizens of Athens, you must have heard of me, the philosopher Socrates. Today, I'm not here with you citizens to spread my philosophical teachings, but rather to testify in favor of my lovely friend that's primarily a great visionary, Aspasia. I know I told you I won't be talking about philosophy, but I must tell what a philosophy means to us, art and wisdom. Philosophy, literature, art, those are priceless values of our society. That's what the rest of civilized people know us by. You know what? This is a golden age for us. So we mustn't do anything that's against our prosperity. And punishing Aspasia would exactly be that. So, dear citizens, I must tell you one story. You have heard of our great sculptor Phidia, a Phidia that built monumental sculpture of god Zeus in Olympia. Yeah, if there wasn't Aspasia, this statue wouldn't exist. That's because she gave generous donations. Yes, she gave generous donations. As a citizen of words, I must tell you that I would let her take care of our sacred polis. I know these words are not even slightly exaggerated. She teaches us Athenians ethics, morality, logical thinking. Our great leader, Pericles, wouldn't have valued her so much if she didn't have
if she wasn't wise and a great intellectual. At the end, I just want to tell you this. I really think that proof of innocence is when someone doesn't want to do any injustice, and Aspasia didn't do injustice to anyone.
I will call the last speaker of this trial, the last speaker of defense, the likeliest to the stand.
Dear magistrate and honorable citizens of Athens, as you've had a chance to hear, I, Telecles, am the brother of Aspasia, and therefore very well acquainted with her actions. I believe that your mind is sharp enough to recognize all of the lies and deceptions spoken recently. Just think about who they came from. From those to whom she is a threat, from those who wanted her for themselves and she rejected them, or from paid witnesses. Honorable jurors, what I hold in my hand here is the proof that Cyterion, the priest witness, who claims Aspasia compared herself to Aphrodite, he received 100 drachmas last night.
Lies and blasphemy.
Silence!
And the penalty for perjury is Athenian. It's a shame that such a woman is accused of running a brothel. A brothel when all she did was found a school where young Hetaerians will be educated and where philosophy will be discussed. And let me remind you that most of our valuable citizens, Socrates, Plato, they all gather there. So is it dishonorable to spread the love of wisdom? Is it a crime to discuss philosophy? Because if it were, half of us would not be even here today. And as for my sister, I can say without a single doubt that not once did she allow herself to another man with the purpose of achieving some benefit. She did not even look at another man since she met Pericles. Fellow jurors, even Pericles' youngest son, who was allegedly harmed, as the prosecutors claim, has nothing but praises and compliments for her. If you don't believe me, listen to him personally.
Do you swear under the threat of dike pseudomartyria that you will tell the truth and nothing but the truth?
I swear.
Kiss the sword of goddess Dike in order to tell the truth.
I am here today to stand beside my lovely stepmother who has taught me so much. She taught me how to be a great citizen of Athens, and she did the exact same thing with my younger half-brother Pericles Jr. Today we heard many false accusations towards her, coming from my mother, from my uncle, from my older brother. Well, all these three people have one thing in common, and that one thing is their unconditional greediness. When it comes to my older brother, he can't accept the fact that he will now have to share his inheritance with our younger half-brother.
I'll get nothing.
When it comes to my uncle, his vanity is injured because my parents divorced. And when it comes to my mother, she can't accept the fact that after divorce, my father gave her back every last bit of his dowry, and now she doesn't have a valid reason to make a complaint. That's the truth. My parents mutually decided to end their marriage because they were both unhappy. My father didn't abandon us, especially not because of Aspasia. She has been an amazing influence in my life, and I'm thankful for everything she has done for me. Thank you.
There, you heard it. But let me ask you to look at the bigger picture here. Who is on trial here? Who is being accused here? Is it really Aspasia? Or is it, by attacking Aspasia, they actually want to get rid of Pericles by false accusations that someone else is ruling his head? A woman. Do you think that the great Pericles, the greatest of us all, would ever allow himself to be ruled by anyone else, let alone a woman, even one as beautiful and as educated as my sister is? And as far as the accusations against me are concerned, yes, it is true, I obtained my citizenship through naturalization. But fellow jurors, I didn't come to it by fraud. I earned it. I fought for it. I put in blood, sweat, and tears to serve our
arranged it for you.
There were 10 witnesses. I'm lying.
I'm 1,000 witnesses.
You talk so much about democracy. You accuse me and my sister of espionage. You claim that Pericles has Olympian arrogance and a monarchistic abuse of power. Yet you contradict yourself. Well, gods know my status was not decided by one person, but that 6,000 people
Silence from prosecutor.
agreed on my position.
No one here was your witness.
6,000 people agreed on my position. Half of you were there.
Find me those 6,000.
Half of them were there. And my position was decided by them. And as for my sister here, I can guarantee you that she didn't once did any of those things they said. So just think about it. It's them who are a real threat. Don't you see who is being accused here? It's they who are a real threat. They want to get rid of Pericles by false accusations that Aspasia is running his head. It's all a conspiracy they created. And they are willing to go so far as to bribe witnesses. So how can you believe a single word they said? Fellow jurors, stick to your beliefs, but don't let anyone else confuse them for you. And judge in favor of the one who you feel deep down that it is right.
Holy Heavenly, your job now is to decide the fate of Aspasia. You will put your vote in 2 cups. In order to vote for prosecutors, you will vote on my right cup. In order to vote for defense, you will vote in a left cup. Proceed.
I should explain a little bit about what you just saw, and I emphasize the scene. At Athens, they had 2 opaque urns, and citizens would vote with, I think it's kind of hard to describe. It was a wheel with either a hollow or a full cylinder. I really don't. I wish I had a model of it to pass around, or rather a model of the 2 things, because one of them was each voter would hold his fingers over the edges, the ends of it, and would put it into an urn, but nobody could say whether the one that he put into the operative urn, the one where the votes were counted, was to acquit, that would be empty, or to convict, which would be full. So what you saw here was a public demonstration of how everybody voted, and it was supposed to be secret ballot, and they could keep it secret. There was also a rule that if you did not get 40% of the vote, either for prosecution, if you did not get 40% of the vote, you were condemned at the same level of capital crime, potentially, as you had accused the accused of. So I don't know. We have this. The prosecution may not have gotten 2/5 of the votes. So. Sorry, guys. As I expected, as I predicted, but I'm usually good at predicting such things. This was very entertaining. And I thank all of you for your preparation, for your energy, and I thank you for presiding so efficiently over this event. Question about any of this? Okay. I should mention that there are some fictions involved in the preparation of this. There is no known Milesian brother of Aspasia, or Aspasia if you prefer, it's even more American sounding, Aspasia, who was given citizenship or not. In fact, a vote of citizenship was a very rare event, and usually a person given citizenship was some very powerful person, and not necessarily from a Greek city-state. Awards were made to Thessalian princes. So there was some backstory that was, well, I'm to blame, that made the balance of prosecution and defense a bit different than it probably was. There is, in fact, some doubt about whether there actually was a trial of Aspasia. But the odds are that there was at least the threat of a trial of Aspasia. And very often when someone knew that he or she was going to be convicted, he or she would skip town and avoid the ignominy of being convicted, even being convicted of a capital crime. Now, there was another thing. How many of you know Socrates' dialogue, Crito, where Crito's a friend of Socrates, who is going to arrange for Socrates, who has been condemned to death, arrange for him to leave Athens and get safely to wherever else in the Greek world he wanted to go. And Socrates argues, no, I can't do that. Well, it's an interesting argument where the laws appear in personification in the argument of Socrates. Well, that shows how unusual it ever was, for anybody ever to use the hemlock. Because if you are condemned, you are given every chance to escape, and you were persona non grata. You could be killed on sight if you came back into Athenian territory. And there were probably extradition for most of the allied city-states that would catch someone capitally condemned at Athens and send him, her, to Athens. In this case, I think the outcome is unlikely to have occurred if Aspasia actually did go to trial. We really don't know the outcome of a trial, and that makes people suspect that maybe it never occurred. There was only the threat of one. But that's enough. That's a historic pedantry and so on. I'll let you all go your several ways with thanks to all of you. Done it again.
The Helele has decided the defense has won unquestionably.